There are moments in the entertainment world when a single rumor appears on a screen and suddenly everything seems to stop. One sentence can spread across social media within minutes, turning curiosity into concern and leaving millions of fans wondering whether something they never imagined could actually be happening. That is exactly the kind of reaction surrounding the shocking claim that Zhang Linghe may be stepping away from the acting industry. For fans who have followed his journey, watched his performances, celebrated his achievements, and become emotionally attached to the characters he has brought to life, the idea feels almost impossible to process. His name has become closely connected with the modern drama landscape, and his presence on screen has created a sense of anticipation around every new project. So when reports or online discussions begin suggesting that he could be leaving acting, the natural question is not simply whether the rumor is true, but what could possibly have happened behind the scenes to make such a possibility even imaginable. The reaction has been intense because Zhang Linghe is not an actor whose career exists quietly in the background. His rise has been something viewers have watched unfold over time, with every drama, appearance, event, and public moment contributing another piece to the image fans have formed of him. He has experienced the extraordinary pressure that comes with becoming widely recognized, and with that recognition comes a complicated reality that audiences do not always see. Every new role can create enormous expectations. Every photograph can become a topic of discussion. Every appearance can be analyzed. Even moments that may seem ordinary to the person experiencing them can become significant to thousands or millions of people watching from a distance. That level of attention can be thrilling, but it can also be exhausting. And this is where the current speculation becomes emotionally complicated, because leaving the spotlight and simply taking a break are two very different things, yet social media discussions can quickly blur that distinction. The phrase reportedly leaving the acting industry sounds dramatic, almost like the closing chapter of an era, but a report, rumor, or online claim does not automatically mean that a confirmed decision has been made. Entertainment rumors often grow from fragments of information, changes in schedules, periods of silence, project uncertainty, or comments that are interpreted in ways far beyond their original meaning. A celebrity may take time away from public appearances, and suddenly fans begin asking whether something bigger is happening. A project may be delayed, and speculation can immediately turn toward career problems. An actor may appear less frequently online, and people can begin creating explanations without knowing what is happening privately. That is why this story deserves something more thoughtful than simply repeating the most dramatic version of the rumor. The real emotional question is what happens when a performer reaches a point where the demands of fame become as powerful as the joy of performing. Imagine the pressure surrounding someone whose career has moved from opportunity to expectation. Early in a career, getting a role can feel like a dream. Every opportunity is exciting because it represents a chance to prove yourself. But as recognition grows, the atmosphere changes. Suddenly, every new role is compared with the previous one. Every performance is judged against expectations. Every choice becomes part of a larger public conversation. Success does not necessarily make the pressure disappear. Sometimes it makes the pressure heavier. The more people care, the more difficult it becomes to make choices, without knowing how those choices will be received. For an actor, that can create a strange contradiction. The very popularity that opens doors can also make every step through those doors feel increasingly complicated. That is why fans are reacting so emotionally to the possibility of Zhang Linghe stepping away. For many viewers, he is not simply a name attached to a drama poster. His performances may be connected to particular periods of their lives, late-night viewing sessions, emotional scenes they replayed, characters they became attached to, and moments they discussed with friends. Entertainment can create memories in ways people rarely expect. A drama watched during a difficult period can become part of that period forever. A character can remind someone of a certain year, a certain feeling, or a certain version of themselves. When an actor associated with those memories is suddenly surrounded by rumors of leaving the industry, fans can experience a strange sense of loss even before anything has actually been confirmed. And perhaps that is what makes the current atmosphere so emotional. People are not only asking whether Zhang Linghe will continue acting. They are asking whether the journey they have been following could suddenly change direction. They are asking what the future might look like without seeing his name attached to upcoming dramas. They are wondering whether there are projects they may never get to watch, characters they may never see him portray, and performances that may exist only in imagination. The uncertainty creates its own kind of suspense because there is no clear ending to hold on to. There is only a question hanging in the air. But behind every public career is a private human being, and the distinction matters. Fans see red carpets, cameras, promotional events, drama scenes, interviews, photographs, and carefully prepared appearances. They do not see every hour of preparation, every exhausting schedule, every moment of uncertainty, or every personal decision that takes place away from the public eye. It is easy for viewers to look at a successful actor and assume that success must automatically mean happiness. Yet a career can be successful while still being demanding. A person can love acting and still need rest. A performer can be grateful for opportunities while also needing time away from constant attention. Those realities can exist together without contradiction. There is also something deeply human about reconsidering a career after reaching a certain level of visibility. The entertainment industry moves incredibly quickly. New dramas arrive, new actors appear, new trends emerge, and audiences constantly move toward the next story. But actors themselves are living through those changes in real time. What looks like a glamorous career from the outside can involve uncertainty, long working periods, emotional intensity, physical exhaustion, and the challenge of maintaining a sense of self while millions of people have opinions about you. Sometimes stepping back can be a way of protecting one's energy rather than abandoning a dream. Sometimes silence can simply be silence. And sometimes a rumor can become much larger than the reality behind it. This is why the word reportedly matters so much. Until there is a reliable and official confirmation, fans should be careful about treating speculation as fact. The internet has a powerful ability to transform uncertainty into certainty. A question can become a headline. A headline can become a post. A post can become a trend. And once thousands of people repeat the same claim, repetition can make it feel true even when the original information remains unclear. This happens constantly in celebrity culture, where audiences are hungry for updates and social platforms reward emotionally powerful stories. The more shocking the claim, the faster it can travel. For Zhang Linghe, the emotional weight of such speculation is particularly interesting because his career has been built around the continuing possibility of what comes next. Fans are always looking toward the next drama, the next character, the next appearance, the next moment that reveals another side of his abilities. The idea of leaving acting interrupts that anticipation. It asks fans to imagine a future without the familiar cycle of waiting for announcements, watching trailers, discussing casting news, and preparing for another performance. Even if the rumor ultimately proves untrue, the emotional reaction reveals just how deeply audiences have invested in his journey. There is another possibility that should not be overlooked. Sometimes what appears to be an ending is simply a transition. Careers evolve. Actors change the types of roles they accept. They may reduce their workload, explore different creative directions, take longer between projects, or become more selective about what they want to do. From the outside, such changes can look like withdrawal, but they may actually represent growth. An actor who once accepted every opportunity may eventually want greater control over the roles he chooses. Someone who once focused entirely on performance may become interested in other aspects of filmmaking. A quieter period does not automatically mean the end of a career. And perhaps this is where fans need to hold two emotions at once. They can feel worried while also allowing uncertainty to remain uncertainty. They can care deeply without turning every rumor into a confirmed event. They can hope for new performances without demanding that an actor continue working simply because audiences want to see him. There is a difference between supporting someone's career and feeling entitled to their future. The strongest form of fandom is often the one that understands that difference. Still, it is impossible to ignore the emotional storm created by the rumor. Across fan communities, conversations can quickly become filled with disbelief. Some people immediately search for explanations. Others look back at recent appearances, interviews, or career developments, trying to find clues that might explain the speculation. Some fans may become anxious about unfinished projects or future plans, while others may simply refuse to believe that the journey could be ending. These reactions demonstrate something powerful about celebrity culture. Audiences develop emotional connections with people they may never personally meet, and those connections can feel remarkably real. There is also a bittersweet side to remembering how far an actor has come. Every established performer has a point where the audience looks backward and realizes how much has changed. Early appearances may feel different. Older performances may carry the energy of someone still trying to establish himself. Later roles can show greater confidence, greater control, and a growing understanding of the craft. When fans look at that progression, the thought of an abrupt departure naturally feels painful. They are not only losing the possibility of future roles, they're being reminded that every career has moments when the path can change unexpectedly. Yet perhaps the most important thing to remember is that an actor's value is not determined solely by how continuously they remain visible. Fame encourages constant visibility, but art does not always work that way. Some of the most meaningful creative periods happen away from the noise. Rest can create space for reflection. Distance can change perspective. Time can allow a performer to return with renewed energy and a different understanding of what they want from their career. If Zhang Linghe were ever to take a significant break, that would not necessarily erase everything that came before it. The performances already created, the characters already portrayed, and the memories already formed would remain part of his artistic journey. For fans, that may be the hardest lesson hidden inside this entire situation. We often become attached to the idea that the people we admire will always be there in the same way. We expect another drama, another event, another photograph, another performance. We build routines around those expectations. But careers are made of change. Actors grow older, priorities shift, opportunities appear and disappear. People discover new ambitions. Sometimes the most unexpected chapter begins precisely when everyone believes the story has already been written. So what really happened? At this point, the title itself contains an important word: reportedly. The claim should be treated as speculation unless and until there is clear confirmation from a trustworthy source. The emotional reaction is real, the conversations are real, and the curiosity is real, but those feelings should not be confused with proof. The absence of certainty does not mean fans should stop caring. It simply means that caring should come with patience. And maybe that patience is the most meaningful response of all. Instead of immediately imagining the worst, fans can remember the larger journey. Remember the performances that introduced people to him. Remember the characters that stayed in people's minds long after the final episode. Remember the moments that turned an actor into someone viewers genuinely wanted to follow. A career is not defined by one rumor circulating on one day. It is shaped by years of work, choices, challenges, growth, and the connection created between performer and audience. There is something strangely beautiful about that connection because neither side completely controls it. The actor creates a performance, and viewers give it meaning through their own experiences. A character can leave the screen and continue living in someone's memory. A scene can become a favorite moment years later. A performance can inspire someone to watch another drama, learn about another culture, discover another story, or simply feel understood during a difficult evening. Those effects cannot be measured by headlines or rankings. They are part of what makes acting meaningful in the first place. If Zhang Linghe continues acting, fans will undoubtedly watch closely, waiting to see where his career goes next. If he takes time away, many will still remember what brought him to his work in the first place. If his career changes direction, that change could eventually reveal possibilities that nobody currently expects. And if the current rumor turns out to be nothing more than another example of the internet moving faster than the facts, the entire episode may eventually become a reminder of how quickly uncertainty can become panic in the modern entertainment world. For now, the story remains suspended between rumor and reality, and perhaps that is why it has captured so much attention. There is no definitive ending to this chapter yet, only questions. Is this truly a departure, or simply speculation? Is there a major career decision happening privately, or has an ordinary change been misunderstood? Is Zhang Linghe preparing for a different direction, or will the next announcement completely change the conversation? Until reliable information provides those answers, nobody outside his private world can know for certain. What fans can know is that the impact of his work has already happened. Whatever comes next, the performances already released, cannot be erased by a rumor. The characters people connected with cannot disappear from their memories. The moments that made viewers laugh, cry, wonder, or stay awake thinking about a story remain exactly where they always were, inside the experiences of the people who watched them. And perhaps that is the most powerful reminder hidden beneath all the speculation. An actor's journey is bigger than one headline, bigger than one trending topic, and bigger than one uncertain moment. So while the entertainment world waits for clarity, the silence itself becomes part of the mystery. Fans are watching, wondering, remembering, and hoping that whatever happens next will be a decision made with confidence rather than pressure. Because behind the cameras, behind the headlines, behind the countless discussions and expectations, there is still a person whose future cannot be reduced to a rumor. And perhaps the most respectful thing fans can do is allow that future to unfold in its own time. Until then, the question remains hanging in the air, powerful enough to make fans stop scrolling and look again. Could this really be the end of Zhang Linghe's acting journey, or are we witnessing nothing more than a moment of uncertainty before another unexpected chapter begins? Sometimes the most dramatic stories are not the ones with immediate answers. Sometimes the most emotional moments are the ones where everyone waits, watches, and wonders what will happen next. And right now, that is exactly where Zhang Linghe's story appears to stand, not at a confirmed ending, but at an uncertain crossroads where one announcement could change everything.